Damn it.
How was your weekend?
Dry. The weekend was awesome, relaxing, and there was too much rain down here for me. But and I did a whole lot of assembling and packing. So
Yeah, ready for that move?
Yes, about 2 weeks or so. But yeah, I'm getting ready. I'm getting excited. New start.
Yeah, I would be. You're going down to New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna hang out with other voodoo bitches and.
Hell yeah.
Go crazy.
Yeah, there's some great ghost hunting going on over there, and some really good groups that I've been making friends with, and lots of family, and a whole lot of parties going on. A lot of
Are you gonna take your shirt off during Cinco de Mayo?
Hell yeah!
Fucking hey, yeah.
I'm on Girls Gone Wild 6, 7, 8, and 12.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah!
Damn it! I still ain't seen that yet.
I like to cause a scene on the balcony and everything else. Believe me, everybody else has seen it.
Nice.
What? And you didn't show that picture that I sent you to Gary?
No,
not that. No, about yesterday when he was looking for proof. I said, "What? Jason didn't show you?" So I'll keep him wondering if I sent you a picture or not.
Probably. That's Gary. I love Gary.
Yeah. Oh, he's hilarious. He's funny.
He's a funny fucker. But it's all good.
Yeah.
So, my week was all right, I guess. I did mostly fucking work, and I'm kind of getting tired of work. I need a vacation. I got to go down to New Orleans.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely. I'm sure we can find a reason to get you down there.
I'm sure something can pop up. I'm sure. Hey, take us off and tell everybody what kind of show we have going on tonight.
Well, as always, we have a fantastic guest with us tonight, Mr. Will Light. And Will is a paranormal investigator from Texas, and he's going to tell us some great stories about some places he's investigated and what's going on with his team. So welcome to the show, Will.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it. And I do have some stories for you.
I know.
Definitely going to kick ass. We do some paranormal news in the beginning of the show that we will encourage you to be involved in, Will.
Right.
We'll share some stories and see what you think about some of these stories. And some of them are pretty fucked up. Well, they're all fucked up.
Every last one of them.
Well, we source them from where we can find them. Sometimes it's more reputable, sometimes it's less reputable, but it's all fun. It's all
fun. Some of it is questionable, some of it is not questionable.
Boy, we got a lot of controversy. Yeah?
Yeah. Oh,
no.
Oh, no.
It's all good. We'll do 4 stories tonight.
All right. A lot of good controversy off of that Bible story we covered last week. Damn.
Fucking hell. A lot of people was all pissed off over that.
Got them all worked up. It was awesome. They were all worked up. We stirred it up with that.
Oh, yeah. They're like, what the hell, man? That is wrong. I'm telling you, that's a big hoax. How do you know, man? It's all good, though.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll do some 4 stories tonight. We'll start off with a little stupid story from, where the hell was this one at?
The About News.
About News, that's right. This is about the psychic goat, Pip. Pip is a goat who apparently has psychic abilities and can predict sporting events. Now, he may be looking for a new career, as colleague Andy Campbell of the Huffington Post reports. He failed to predict the winner of a simple soccer match over in the United Kingdom. So, basically, he was busted as a fraud. Why would you rely on the goat for fucking psychic advice?
Come on. Come on. Yeah, I do hear about other people having, animals that they believe have psychic abilities. I think it's one thing if you think that you can maybe psychically or telepathically communicate with your animal or with a particular, if you think that I met someone actually who was sort of a dog whisperer over in Georgia. She was pretty incredible. A pet psychic, but, and even that's questionable, but to put your money down on what you think a goat said, how do they even know what his prediction was? What are they
That's what I'm trying to think. Does he nudge something? Does he get a boner? Does he blow gas? How does that work? Is it anybody blow gas for yes or no?
Does he when you put the picture in front of him or put his paw down on the right one? How the heck could you know? Seriously.
There's an elephant that has picked the last 10 Super Bowl winners.
Get out of here.
No, he picks up a paintbrush. They'll put the colors of the teams in like a paint bucket there, and he'll pick up the brush and he'll paint the board of what color the team that's going to win. And he's picked the last 10.
That's great.
This year, I'm going to bet on that big fat son of a bitch. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to bet on the elephant.
That's great.
You got to, and that goat, they might as well make cabrito out of that son of a bitch. He lost. That's all I got.
That's crazy.
So you're going to bet on that, Jason? On the
I'm not bet with a goat. I'm sorry.
Well, what about the elephant?
The what?
The elephant. He picked the last 10 Super Bowl winners, Will was saying. What about that?
I don't see me doing it.
Not only that, they pay for his paintings. He's making millions off of selling his damn paintings.
Who owns this elephant?
I don't know. I just watch him before the Super Bowl comes on. But something's going on there. I don't. I'm sure he's not psychic because they don't have much of a brain. But there's something going on there. He can guess anyway. They probably don't. They probably don't feed him for a month and tell him to pick up the gold one or whatever.
Got a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
For
they
real.
Give him gold, they give him that color of paint for a month or something. I don't know. He's picked the last 10, so I don't know.
That's crazy.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's go on to some more modern type of news. This is the rest of the news is all going to be UFO based or alien based or something like that. So we're going to have a nice good alien news. This is one that I have noticed just recently about but I believe we had one last year too. So that's wrong. The phenomenon, which was the biggest of its kind, took place on July 2014. Stargazers were busy witnessing this rare sight. Many taking photos, according to the spectacle, an amateur videographer captured the supermoon. Shockingly, the footage also captured an object crossing the path of the moon. Viewers called the mysterious object as bizarre, and it's fucking me up. So I did that. He said that he was looking at the video screen when he spotted the object. He tried to figure out whether it was a bird or something else. He uploaded the video on his, well, no, I already read that. He posted that since this thing was so far away from where he was standing and he does not know what it is, what do you all think of it? He asked his viewers. Scott Ward from UFO Sightings Daily said that it was an interesting catch of the supermoon. A black circle is captured moving slightly across the moon, not on the surface, but between the moon and the Earth. This guy has amazingly powerful equipment that is capturing this UFO, he added. Media by JJ said in his description, this wasn't the International Space Station, ISS, because while it was visible over Jersey, during the evening this video was recorded. It was well away from where the moon was. The ISS appeared to be 12 degrees above north-northwest and disappeared 10 degrees above north-northeast. I also recorded this at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the ISS appeared just after 10 p.m. Eastern Time. The July supermoon was to appear 30% brighter and 14% bigger than the average full moon. This was the first of the 3 consecutive supermoons of 2014. And that's actually quite interesting.
Yeah. That's good. And you had beautiful pictures that you took of it. I waited and waited for the super moon. I loved.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it is. Wouldn't you like to know?
But if anyone wants to check out that video, definitely go to Media by JJ on the on YouTube, and you can see that video. And it was pretty interesting. And there could be something with that, something that powerful, and that it does have magnetic pull. I mean, maybe that's what these aliens are going by to guide them through the the space or whatever hell you want to consider it.
Maybe that's what they're waiting for, you know? Maybe it gives them some additional, I don't know, some kind of energy that's additional that they need. Crazy.
It is.
I don't know.
Well, I certainly believe that there's something else out there. I think it'd be stupid not to believe that there isn't anything else out there. But I don't know. I've never seen anything with my eyes, and until I do, it's still out there to be found. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely believe it, and I did see something with my eyes and change pattern, and it was wild. I'll never forget it, and I was just a kid. But that's the only time I've ever seen anything like that. But I definitely believe that we can't be alone, in this universe. We can't be the only ones. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
What's that, Jay?
I said it's definitely an interesting concept to, witness some kind of, alien life craft or think of even how they would survive in this particular area, being that, there's a good chance that they don't have oxygen or anything. I think all that's fascinating, personally.
It is.
Plus, all the sightings, there's just not that many crazy people in the world. I mean, whatever you want to say, but there's just too many credible sightings that happen every day. Upwards of 250 to 300 a day that people are seeing different spacecrafts. All over the country, all over the world. So I think that means something for sure. They need to investigate more. They need to put a team together that, like they did back in the 70s, Project Blue Book, and really need to get back on this. Let's find out what's going on. But truly, to be honest, I think they already know. That's the reason why they haven't put a team together. They know what's going on.
Have they probed you, Jason?
I can't probe, but in the same token, I was out looking for a good time, and I picked up a prostitute, very wonderful female with an Adam's apple.
Woo!
The last time I had to do that.
You scrubbed your whole body down with Brillo after you got home.
They told me to stay on. Nothing ever went in my mouth. Oh.
The lights are off, and I didn't see nothing.
Pretty sure by the time you realized it was already too late. To go with it at that point.
That's it. Once you're committed, that's it. You're committed. Can't back out of it now.
You're past go.
So what else do we have in the news, Jodi?
What else do we have? Pulsing red sphere-shaped UFOs, according to testimony in case 57602 from the Municipal UFO Network, which is, of course, MUFON, witness reporting database. The officer he was patrolling. He was out on his usual gig, patrolling around in the 8700 block of North Milwaukee Avenue at about 11:15 p.m., and this was just in July, this year, 2014, and that's when the objects were first seen. So the quote from him was, "My eye was caught by two pulsing round red lights in the southwest sky, one on top of the other, which appeared to be a cell or a water tower in the vicinity of Maryhill Cemetery." But then it caused him to do a complete double take because he knew that there were absolutely no such structures of that kind or any similar kind at all in that area. So, I mean, that's definitely compelling, I think. What do you think about that?
I think you should have busted out his radar gun and see how fast he was going.
That would have been fun. And I mean, I've got two more similar stories. I've got another, close encounter in Missouri, August 13th, 2014. And this also was reported to MUFON, so it's in the database. And he first saw a series of 3 meteors moving overhead. It was a crystal clear night, is how he described it, beginning at about 9:30 p.m., between, driving from his house over to his girlfriend's house. And, arriving at his girlfriend's home, he also spoke to a neighbor of hers who had also witnessed seeing the same phenomena in the sky. So it wasn't just him. So this was also reported to MUFON. I mean, so these are, credible stories with, actually assigned case numbers, with MUFON. This was case, 58918. So, I mean, God, when I hear stories like this, it really makes me want to be compelled to find out more or, go someplace where these things are happening. And, I've never really done that, but I've kind of always wanted to go to like a hot UFO site, something that's claimed to be a hot site, and sit out there at night with, some local group and watch the sky and see if there's anything to be seen. It's just interesting. Have you?
Yeah, there's like Christina George out there in California. I like reading her posts because they do a lot of sky watching. They have big get-togethers out there, and they get a lot of great pictures and the main thing is just getting everybody together for these sky watchings and
yeah.
I've been talking to my wife about it. We would love to find us a good place that's out where you don't have to worry about the city lights or airplanes or and all that, and and have a get together and meet some people, and just maybe get some of these guys that have the big nice telescopes and things like that. These people have got thousands of dollars invested in some of these telescopes, just for that purpose of sky watching, not just watching the planets or stars, but they're watching for UFOs, and I've talked to a lot of these people online, and it's just so interesting, and this guy just the other night, he's out in East Texas, and he caught some really cool pictures of a triangle-shaped UFO around his house. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really something else. And that's what I tell people. Don't come around here telling me that there's nothing else out there because I'm probably near cussing you out, because you're just stupid. There's just too much out there, and they're probably the ones that brought us to Earth. We probably ruined Mars or something, and we had to get the hell out of there, so they brought us to a new planet to destroy. There ain't no telling what's going on. So.
Who knows? I mean, yeah, I want to do that. I'm going to put that out there on Facebook. Like, who's doing that, and when can I go? Let's do that.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. A friend of mine in Oklahoma called me, and he asked me if I wanted to hear something funny. And what happened was they were at a place that I've been before. It's an extremely cool cemetery, and there's always activity going on around it. And they were setting up a perimeter, and they were turning on their REM pods and setting up a perimeter of motion sensors and temperature sensors and different things. I mean, they were really setting it up nice and everything. And they said the police pulled up there, and, which they usually do, and get out to see what's going on. And they were just still setting up, and said that cop car just took off in a hurry, man. He left. And come back a few minutes later, maybe an hour later, with like 10 other cops behind him. And they all got out, you know, with their flashlights and whatnot, and they come looking around. And what it turned out to be is that first cop that pulled up there and got scared, he thought a UFO was out there in that cemetery.
Oh, wow.
He saw all the lights of the REM pods all lit up as they were just turning everything on. You know, and they'll all light up, and everyone was in a quarter turning everything on, and he saw all the different color lights, and he thought, oh, my God, a UFO. And he took off, and he went and got help. He wouldn't even step out of his car. It scared him so bad. So, you know, I laughed for hours. I still think about that. But I thought it was great. We had 2 sightings in one place. We had ghosts and aliens in one spot. So.
That's crazy. That's funny. You know, I was looking over a couple more of these stories, and, you know, like Jason was saying, they all take place between, like, 8 o'clock and 10:30. So, yeah, they're all over the world, though, because I'm on the MUFON site, and they, you know, all over the world, I'm definitely seeing that. And a lot of them are close to the water. I hadn't really thought about that. Not all of them, but more than half of them.
Well, there's a ton of stories of them, you know, people seeing lights in the water, you know, and wonder about that.
It's quite possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Something to
I'd
look
like to
into.
see one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to have to investigate that some more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. We're now quiet.
Let's talk about Will. Will, tell us about your group and, you know, where you're at. Tell everybody listening, you know, where you're at out in Texas and, you know, how many people are in your group. And
we have what we are is we're 2 groups. We're integrated. We have paranormal, and we also have Blue Bonnet Paranormal, which is Mary Fellers and Cody, and we get together and we do private investigations as our main thing that we do. We had one this last weekend, which was really, really cool, really fascinating. We think it was mainly residual haunt. It's a house up on a hill, and it's right in between 2 rivers, and it's within a half mile of train tracks. And we went back and did a history on the train tracks, and back when they were built pre-1900, you know, they had the opium dens that followed along with the workers and everything as they were building these, and also had a lot of Chinese that helped build, and, you know, a lot of people looking for work then, and so there was very little documentation of these immigrants, and so they would people looking for work, if there was no work available, they would just go out there and kill a couple of guys and take them off and bury them and say, well, you're missing 2 guys now, and they'd say, well, okay, go to work, you know, and so there's bodies all up and down that train track. Not the
wow.
There was Indian wars. There was just cowboy wars. There was everything that happened right here in this spot. The tent cities that followed along with them building the train track. And, that was no easy job back then. They didn't have the tools like we have now, and so the Texas heat would kill people daily, you know. And
oh God, it's so hot out there too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 101 right now.
I am not surprised.
Yeah, it's pretty hot out there. But and my fat ass is sitting in front of this air conditioner, soaking it up like a sponge. But we stay very busy, and you know, we're constantly doing these. And then in our free time, we like to go out and investigate something different. And you know, and but we're constantly getting calls. We get calls in the middle of the night. I actually had a for real call. We were headed out Saturday night to go to this investigation, And as I was walking out the door, my phone rang, and it was a guy in Laredo, Texas. And I'm sure you've heard about all these people coming across the border and things like that. Well, this guy called me, and he's scared. I mean, he's totally scared. He said that when a couple of these immigrants showed up at his house, one of them was dead. And he said that, they brought him in. He didn't realize the guy was dead. And they started trying to feed him water and things like that. And then he realized, he said, man, this guy is dead. And he said ever since they had him in his house, he said he's got things happening, like he has a screen door on his house. It keeps slamming, wide open and slamming without any wind. And down there it's just stifling hot. It's just dry heat, no wind, it's just terrible heat. And he's just beside himself. And it's like we talk about the paranormal unity. I called the team down in Laredo, and I talked to him before, and turned his phone number over to them, and they're working with him right now. But that's the first story that I heard about something about the immigrants coming over and one of them being dead and pulled up on somebody's front porch like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, that was
there.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty rough down here, with all that happening and and stuff. But it all started for me when I was around 8 years old, up in the Panhandle, Oklahoma, when I saw a full-bodied apparition. And it wasn't just me; it was half the town that saw this little boy, and he was about my age. And my dad had these, we always had a beautiful garden. He planted everything, at least a half acre of stuff, And he always grew roses. And these roses that he had on the side of the house were at least 8 foot tall. And he had every color. He had like pink, red, whatever. And he was so proud of his roses. And you could smell them. People would stop. It was like a damn tourist attraction up there. People would stop on the side of the road, and Dad's hearing was bad from being in war and and working in the oil field and everything. But I swear he could hear a car door slam at 100 yards, and he'd go running out there and make sure someone wasn't messing with his roses. So I walked outside to go see my neighbor next door. And there's a kid about my age in my dad's roses. And he was like covered in mud or, dirt and everything. And I said, hey, what are you doing to my daddy's roses? And Dad heard me and come out of the door and he said, are you all right? What can I help you? Come over here. Dad saw that he had blood on him and everything, was going to help him out. And the neighbor, my friend's dad, come over there and they were wondering about him. Well, he took off like a bullet and ran across the street and hit an alley. Well, Dad and Mr. Brockett run after him, and they couldn't catch him, so they called the police and told them what they'd seen. And they said, you and about 19 other people have seen this kid running around. And so you could hear them old cars. I'm 50 years old, so them old cars, you could hear them big engines and big 4-barrel carburetors in a little bitty town just roaring it all over the place. You could hear them.
Oh, yeah.
And they finally come by the house and asked which way did he go, and they pointed, and they hauled ass headed that way. And another guy come by, another cop come by and told Dad, Mr. Godfoot, that there had been a killing in the town pretty close to us, and they killed the whole family, and the little boy was missing. So they figured they took the boy with them, or he had just run off somewhere, but they couldn't find him. So, they figured it might be him. But they come by a couple days later and said, no, it couldn't have been that boy because they found him in a shallow grave just outside of town. And my dad was just, it actually they'd actually been killed in the town I was born in. And so he went over just to go check it out, and sure enough, that was the kill we'd seen. And the half of the town had seen too. And so that was our first experience at seeing. They said that he'd been dead at least a week, or whatever. And
oh, wow.
We said, we saw him, just a couple of days ago. So that was really my first experience, and it stayed in my mind. And so I started trying to read everything I could, about what had happened. But down in Central Texas, I had an uncle. He passed away several years ago, but I didn't really know what he did, but my dad kind of handed me over to him, and I went with him, and what he did was he cleansed houses. People would pull up in the front yard and say, hey, there's something going on over here at the house. Would you come over here and see what's going on? And my uncle would say, oh, hell, it's probably Grandma, but hell, I'll come over here and see if I can't help out or something, And he'd put a big old dip of snuff in, and we'd jump in his International Harvester, and we'd ride down the road. And I'll never forget the first time I went with him. Hell, I was probably 10, I guess, and we went in there, and the first thing was this grandfather clock. I don't know how they got it in the house. It was so damn big, and they had me stop the pendulum in there. And he started going through the house, and he had gypsum powder, and he had dowsing rods, and we started going. He started at the far end of the house, and he was mumbling something, and we'd walk a little bit, and he'd take some of that gypsum powder out of his pocket, and he'd draw a circle, and then he'd kick a hole in that circle, and then we'd move on. He'd be working them dowsing rods, and he'd make another circle, and then he'd kick a hole in it, and what I didn't know then that I know now, he was just bringing it out, and he would trap it, and then he would bring it out a little bit more, and he would trap it. And then finally bring it out the back door. And I'll never forget when, I was like 10, but we got it to the back door, and then it was like herding cattle. He was like, oh, y'all get on out of here now. See some bitch, you get on out of here now. Don't keep coming back here. And I'm like, damn, I'm pissed all over the place. I didn't know what to do. What I'm telling you is we turned and left out of that house. That damn pendulum was going again in that clock. And I said, look here, Uncle. I said, that pendulum is going. He said, well, we did good, didn't we, son? We went back outside, and he wasn't saying nothing to that family. He was fixing to get in the truck, and they went around there, and they said, well, what was it? He said, hell, I don't know, but it's probably all right now. And they said, well, what was causing it? And what he said has stuck with me ever since. And that's what I tell people about water. Water is energy. And there was a rise on the Llano River. And he said, I tell you what, he said, there's a lot of people buried along that river out there. He said, I don't know about y'all, but I don't like being underwater. He said, so I bet a lot of them don't like being underwater either, and they're just up moving around. They're out to stretch your legs a little bit and everything. He said, but I wouldn't worry about it. Hell, that rise will go down before too long, and everything will be all right. But that was my first experience at cleaning houses.
Wow.
There's lots better ways of doing it than what he did it, but,
No, yes. Well, there's more modern ways of doing it, for sure. A little of the past and a little of the present.
Oh, yeah.
Seems to be what most people do.
Yeah, Jason.
Then, do you ever have a little bit of push to go ahead and check out that little boy again?
Well, I still got friends back there, and from time to time, I get calls, and there's people that still think that they see him running around that little white shirt, and them black pants. And nobody knows him. He'd have been about my age. And
oh, wow.
Everybody, it's just one of them little bitty towns, population 1,200 people. Everybody knows everybody. And it's just, they call me, everybody knows what I do. Hell, I've been doing this for 35 years. In fact, at all of my high school reunions, I get voted weirdest job, but it's cool to know that, maybe he feels comfortable around there. I don't know, and one of my friends called me one time. He said, your son's still running around here, Will. You ought to come do something about him. I said, it's not fun. He said, hell yeah, I was driving down the road the other day, and some kid just standing out there on the side of the road, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and he wasn't there no more.
That's freaky.
Yeah, but everybody has that happen to them. I mean, everybody. They're skeptics. I love talking to skeptics because, they'll say, oh, I don't believe in none of that shit. But there was this one time, they always stop. There was this one time at my mom's house, and I always think that's funny. Everybody has a story. I don't care who you are. Nobody can sit there and say, even these boys coming home, that's some of the best stories that I've heard is the ones over in Afghanistan and Iraq. Of some of the things that they see over there is just amazing and toe-curling. Some of the things that they see, like some of the fallen soldiers over there that are already home. Even the ones that live to tell about it, that are home, that some of the wounded warriors, they still feel fighting right beside them. They'll see some of the boys that were killed that are, to the point where they'll scream at them, Smith, over your right, or whatever, and they know. They said, man, that guy's been dead. He's been home 2 months, But I can't with them. That's the stories I like to hear. That's when it becomes good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A friend of mine, I told him he needs to write a book because he's a retired from the Army, and he did a couple of tours over there, and some of the stories that he heard. I told him, I said, you just need to put pen to paper, man. Even if it's a short story, you need to do something with it. But that's the thing is, when you're doing these client investigations and you're looking in their eyes, whether they're full of crap or not. You can see fear, you can sense fear. My wife, she's a psychic. She's a medium. She can, we walk into a place and, she has long hair and it's like she stuck her finger in a light socket. Her hair be standing up, and she knows when something's going on. She'll start feeling it when we first get the phone call, for it, and, but when you walk in and you start talking to some of these clients, and they might have been skeptics before anything ever happened to them, and you see that look in their eyes, and that's what gets me, and that's what I need to either. I've also been a maintenance man for all these years too, so either I'm going to go in there. I'm going to debunk it. That's what I'm going to do first. If I can, I'm going to debunk what's going on. If I can't, then, I'm going to figure out what's going on with it. It's like this lady who called me here about a year ago. It was at 2 o'clock in the morning. She said, young man. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I've got a ghost over here at my house. She said, I'm here in Belton. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, I'd like for you to come get it. I said, I'm sorry, what? She said, I've got a ghost in my house, and I need you to come get it. I said, okay, can I schedule you in for, like, Friday week or something, maybe next Thursday? And she's like, no, I need you to come right now. I've had enough of this. And I said, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, ma'am. And she said, I know what time it is. You know, don't tell me what time it is. I know what time it is. Yes, ma'am. I said, what is your address? I'll be on my way. And I took down her information, and I went over to her house. It wasn't too far from my house. And I went over there to go talk to her. And she said, I have got the naughtiest specter here in my house. She's 88 years old. And let me tell you, she was dressed to the nines. She had necklaces on. She had the prettiest blue dress on. And 88 years old. I mean, she was dressed up waiting for me to get there. Looked like she was dressing for a funeral.
They just want to get a look at that.
She's trying to get lucky. She's trying to get lucky with a young guy coming over. Yeah, that's what I do.
That was kind of jarring around to my feeble mind for a little bit. I had to let it go. But I went in there, and she said, yes, sir, I've got me a specter in here, and I want you to get rid of it. And I said, well, let me take a look around. So I walked out, AC meter, and everything else, flashlight, and here I started going to work. I'm looking around and got my recorder out. I'm trying to get something to make some noise, and I come back to her, and I said, now, what's it doing? And she says, you know what it does? I said, what's that? She said, it knocks at me when I'm in the bathroom. I thought, oh, Lord. And she said, she says, let me see if I can get it to make that noise. I said, yes, ma'am. And she went in there and flushed the toilet. And what it was air in her water lines. It was air hammer in her water lines. She had copper pipes. As soon as she flushed that toilet, it would hammer all the way throughout her house. And she thought she had a nasty ghost that liked to knock and everything when she was in the bathroom. So I said, no, ma'am. I said, you don't have a ghost. What you got here is you got some air in your water line. She said, don't you tell me. I'm 88 years old, and I've had a specter or two. I know what's going on here. I got a ghost. And I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll get rid of that ghost for you. And she said, all right. Well, I bled all the water lines, got all the air out of the lines, and I come back in, and I flushed that toilet for her, and she said, son, I don't know what you did, but you got rid of that ghost for me. She said, I sure do appreciate it. And I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I got that nasty ghost for you. So, you know, that's
awesome.
That's just some of them, you know. But you get a lot of those calls.
Jodi, what kind of funny stories do you have? As an investigator.
I don't have any that are that funny. Well, one place I went to out in Georgia, I didn't know the lady, you get the people that call you, and they're so upset, and they're so serious. And I think it was Tucker was the name of the town that we went to. It was sort of, northwest Georgia area, a couple of hours from my house at that time. And another group member had gone out and actually done a full interview with the lady and had her fill out a whole questionnaire. And so, we all felt very seriously about it. But we get there, and she's way out in the country, and she's all, freaking out, and, sure that there's like 5 different spirits in her house, and they're coming after her even when she's outside, and she's so afraid, and she lives alone. But nothing about that investigation was right. Like, there were definitely not any spirits in there. A lot of it we figured out was wiring issues in the lady's house. Like, there were certain areas, like in her living room where she sat and watched TV, there were certain areas as you were going through there that you could sort of feel the change in there. And so some of the guys in our group, were good with electrician work and, that sort of thing. They were handier than I am, that's for sure. But, just nothing about it was right. And the more that we started to investigate, the more that we found it was all just, but this lady wouldn't give it up. She wouldn't get over it. She kept swearing that, things were flying across her kitchen. There was a poltergeist and, different things that she smelled smoke, all the time, and really we were kind of worried that, maybe her place was going to get set on fire because of faulty wiring. But, you know how it is, Jay. It's just, sort of like what Will did. We try to figure out, what it's not, first instead of going in and, right away thinking it's got to be, how it is. It's got to be a demon. There's got to be something. Let's go in there and call it out. But
people are a bit eccentric when it comes to that.
Well, eccentric wasn't even the word for this lady. Some of the rooms that we went into, there was like piles of furniture up on the bed. I mean, her place was in so much disarray. Something could have fallen off the bed in the other room that she was using for storage, and she would have thought she was haunted. It was just crazy. But, that was one of the weirder people that I had to deal with. And as we even tried to go through there, I had, a shower curtain fell down on top of me. Just random stuff happened as we went through that house. And, of course, we tried to make it look like it was a fairly thorough investigation to make her happy. And she wanted us to come back out a couple of more times. And we just, we declined at that point. We actually tried to turn her over to a group that was closer to her, that we weren't that crazy about that time. So, which was not very nice. But, they were a real pain in our ass. So, we tried to refer her off to them. But, she probably still thinks she has ghosts. I don't think she ever got over it. But, and so, that's why you have to screen your, house visits where people think there's a haunting pretty carefully. And I know what you're saying. Well, I live in a tiny little hick town, Chilton, Alabama, where I've been living for about the past year and a half. And, we're population like 1,200 over here. So I know just what you're talking about, where everybody knows everybody's business, because that is for sure.
Yeah, I got family all over Alabama.
Okay, so we're just out of between Florence and Rogersville, so it's a tiny little. If you blink, you missed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Have you heard of Eclectic, Alabama? Eclectic.
No, I haven't. Where's that at?
It's not even on a map. It's not even on a map. It's so small.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my uncle explains it as, I haven't been to Eclectic, but he says you make 2 lefts and you're at Talladega. So,
wow. Oh, okay, I know where Talladega is, of course. Who doesn't? But, this place even, when you drive, when you enter the city and there's like a fantastic slogan, of whatever your city is where you live. When you drive in here, it says, home of Brooks High School. That's it. That is it. That is true. There's a First Baptist, Brooks High School, and that's it. And a Foodland.
I live in a small town, too, so I know exactly what it's like.
All right. This girl can't wait to get back closer to the city.
The town I was talking about was called Beaver, Oklahoma.
Oh,
so
wow.
People asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from Beaver. They said, no, really, where are you from?
I'm from Beaver, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have that many, ghost stories that are really funny, but, because we take everything so seriously most of the time, but I don't do as many house investigations as I do sort of more historical locations, and not to say that I don't do them, because I'm happy to help anybody that needs a house investigation, anytime. I don't get as many calls for that as I used to. I used to get more calls for that. Once upon a time in Georgia, it seemed like we had people, waiting for us to come out to their house. But, over here in Alabama, I haven't had much call for that. So I've been traveling to interesting spots.
I can share one hysterically funny story.
Yeah.
True story. I was out investigating, and we got called into a residential. Someone called me up and said, hey, my house is haunted. And I'm sure Will agree, sometimes people just want you to come to their house to talk about joining your team.
Mm-hmm.
Cases.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know that one. She calls me up. She said, Mike, it's not even a house. It's an apartment. My apartment's haunted. I got my beds vibrating. I got shadows. I got all kinds of shit. I said, all right, I'll come down. I'll check it out. And we'll go from there. So I go down there. I set up 4 or 5 cameras, and I've got motion sensors all over the place. I spent 4 hours fucking setting everything up and getting ready for this investigation.
Oh, my God.
In there, but, well, anyway, we're investigating, and it was me, my buddy Joe, and my buddy James. 2 guys, I love them to death. They're great people, good people to work with. I was having my turn with my buddy James, and we went into this woman's bedroom. And she's a fairly attractive woman, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Probably 40s, she was like 4'2", little tiny, dinky thing,
Mm-hmm.
And me and my buddy James, we go into her bedroom and we lay down. Well, I lay down. He's sitting in the chair. I'm like, let's try to get this fucking to vibrate this bed. Let's do what we can. And I put my arm down to rest it, and I feel this long, hard thing underneath the blankets. I'm thinking to myself, oh, God, please don't let it be. Please don't let it be. I don't want to know this. And I creep my hand underneath, and I'm scared. I don't know what the fuck. I'm terrified, And my buddy James looks at me and says, what, man? I was like, dude, there's something long and hard under this bed, underneath this blanket. It's right. And he could see it. He could see it in my eyes. It's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm not sure if I want to know. But that being said, I continued to try to grab it, and finally I pulled out. It was just a TV remote, thankfully. But it was pretty intense there for about 2 minutes.
Oh, that's great. That's funny. You thought she was really waiting for you to get there. Uh-huh. Yeah, she's trying to get all those nice younger guys over there. That's what it was.
That was one of my funny moments.
Great.
Well, at the same time as funny, I've had some really, really interesting, cool moments. As long as I've been doing this, I was like 14, and it really, when people found out that I was doing these investigations at so young, I mean, it just word of mouth got out, and it was just popping. But it was bad as it was good, because people started calling me, a devil worshiper, all this crap, And in fact, I was raised in a Pentecostal church, but it was just, it was interesting to me that I'd seen something with my own eyes, and so basically I was just setting out to see it again. That's really all it is. That's all we ever do, all of us. And, but this one couple come down, and they were talking to me and my parents, and they said that their 2 girls were seeing his father, who they were calling Grandpa, and then they would point to a picture and said that that's the man that they were seeing in their 2nd-story window. And there was no way of getting to that window. On the back side of the house, it was just flat. You'd have to have like a 32-foot extension ladder to get to that window. And but there was a window print on the outside of the window. So, sure, you could raise it up, and you could put your hand on the other side, and you could touch it. But the father said, that's not my handprint. That is not my handprint. He was really adamant about it not being his handprint. So the guy that lived behind us was a policeman. So my dad suggested that we go to him and ask him if he had a fingerprint kit and see if he could fingerprint it, and, we'd run it and see if we could find out whose print it was. And he was all about it. He thought it was real cool at what I was doing, and he would find books and he would bring to me to read and everything. He was very cool. So we went down there with his kit, and he took a dusting of it. But this guy's father had died in the penitentiary, and his daughters had never seen this man, never laid eyes on him except for a picture. And he hadn't seen his dad in a lot of years and really had no use for him. You know, he had done something very bad and died in the penitentiary. So we went over there and we dusted this handprint. It come back to his dad, who had died in the penitentiary.
Oh, wow.
That is one of the coolest. It's giving me chill bumps right now. My hair's standing on end just to think about that. But he felt at ease after he heard that. He said, my dad is keeping an eye on my girls. And I talked to him. Now, that's when I was 14, and I probably talked to him a couple of years ago. And he said it really settled down after that the girls don't see him anymore. It probably lasted another year or two, but they'd moved away from that property, and really nothing else ever happened again. But that was one of, I was 14 years old. It was a really cool investigation. So, but that's back when, set up my dad's old Kodak pony camera, and, still got it, and I still got the old tripods and everything. We'd set up strings and bells, and I had a compass always carried around and watched for it, and I would debunk most of everything. I had one house when I was about that same age that the cabinet doors would all open up and then close, and I jumped up and they all come blowing open, and I tripped over the string. I set off the cameras and everything else, and I thought, holy hell, I got everything going off in here. But it was just me. It scared half to death, and turned out that the way that the house was situated, there in the fence and everything next to the other house, it made like a breezeway that comes in. And in between the door, there was like a half-inch space that they didn't build the house so it settled or whatever, and wind would blow up in between the door there and get in behind, and it blew them cabinets open like nobody's business. It would blow them right open, and it was I debunked that one, but that was most of my ghost hunting back then. Was hell, half the stuff I'd set off by myself. But my dad was real cool about it. He'd come over and help me set up all of my crap. He bought me my first video camera that got my first EVP.
Oh, wow.
It was over an old VHS camera, which was real expensive back then when they first come out. And he come in there and woke me up after my investigation. I was trying to get some sleep. And he come in there, he said, who was with you? I said, nobody. Why? He said, come in here, listen to this. I went in there to go listen, and it says, tired. I'm just tired. Just so tired. And you could hear it over the camera.
Awesome.
And, that was really cool, but I wish I'd have done a better job of keeping track of all that crap, and I still got cassette tapes of some of the old recordings and things like that. Had a lady just talking about how she said, yeah, my grandmother used to keep her hair up in a bun, and I had this big giant tape recorder, and over that tape recorder I got an EVP that said, I did too. Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we had this guy call us about doing a investigation down the road here at the Wiedemeyer Academy. And we went over and checked it out. And right off the bat, we caught a picture of a dog, of like a terrier. And it was awesome. And me and that dog had a love-hate relationship. I mean, it would show up and just stink like crazy. And it jumped on a skeptic lady's lap one night, and she went apeshit crazy. It was really neat. But she said, I've got a dog on my lap and it's wagging its tail. Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? But we've got it on night vision. But we had things going on. But he called us and said, investigate my house, and because he had an experience to where he had a van, and he was getting some stuff out of his van, so he crawled in his van because he couldn't reach some things, and he heard a little girl's laugh, like right there beside him. Oh. He said, I didn't know whether to crawl out, to crawl into the driver's seat and leave, or just shit my pants. He said, I didn't know what to do. And he said, so I climbed out, and he said, and I called y'all. He said, I tried to spend the night in here, talked to the other owners, and they heard baby crying and everything else. And so we ended up at the place. And we had it from September to like June, the 1st of June. And we had a really good time investigating it, and we got over 200 Class A EVPs out of the place.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, it was really cool, and it was really a neat place to investigate. We ran some tours through there, and, that's something else I wanted to talk about a little bit is these up-and-comers that are coming in and doing investigations. I had a call here a while back. I had to go do a house. We did, me and Bree, my wife, and some of the other, Mary and Jodi. A team had went in there and never called the client back, never did anything else, never told them what they caught or anything, and they were still having activity in their house. And whenever I contacted them, they said, well, we really didn't know what to do. We're all new at this, and, we really didn't know what to do. I said, you need somebody for help. And number one, if you don't know what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing it. You need to get somebody that has some experience and put them on your team.
Right.
That's what worries me the most is, they shouldn't. I mean, I'm all for, if they want to start a team, that's great, but call me. I mean, just call me, and I'm not going to charge you so. I don't charge for anything. Come over. Yeah. I'll set you down. There's books that I can, Melissa Martin Ellis has a great book to read. Everything Ghost Hunting book. There's field guide books. There's
a system for dummies out there.
I've seen that.
But but listen, I mean, there's nothing better than hands-on and learning from someone like us. And no, in no way would I take someone to a house that's completely out of control. I would take them to a house that has a few spirits going on or something like that. Never take them to a client house. Never take them to a residential house. Because they'll, I can't tell you how many times I've taken someone and they turn off and run and hit a wall or something. Or,
oh, God.
Take out a camera or something, And our stuff ain't cheap, people, But,
no, it's not.
Yeah, but I've watched these teams, they go and buy very expensive equipment, and now it's all just sitting there because they've got the fear of God put in them. And, but yet, they're still putting comments on Facebook, and I see, bless their heart, but there's a lot of teams that are, it appears they're not doing any investigations. They go on there and do these like and shares and everything, and I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, but it just seems that they're not doing. They don't ever say anything about any of their investigations. All they're doing is like and sharing. That's not helping the community. You know, it's really not. Let's all put our, let's put our knowledge out there if we, and let's learn from each other. You know, that's what paranormal unity should all be about, working with each other.
The problem is, and I support paranormal unity. I really would love it to advance off and to see people working together as one. However, it's like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. It's a good idea, but it's a figment of imagination. It's just not going to happen. There's too much competition, too many people out to capture anything that is better than anything they captured. The community has gone to ape shit lately.
I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen. But why stab somebody? I'm here, I'm living proof. I got stabbed in the back really, really bad, and it hurts. It hurts, and it comes from friends. It's terrible. I don't understand it. Call me stupid, or whatever, but I don't understand the competition end of it. We're all looking for the same thing.
It's because everybody, ever since the TV shows, and now Facebook is big too. I'm not going to deny that. People get 4,000 friends and they get this false sense of popularity. And that's what it's all about. It's one big race to being the biggest team out there. And the bottom line is, even the TV shows, they're not celebrities. I'm sorry, Grant and Jason Hawes are not celebrities. If you saw him and Brad Pitt in a fucking shop right, or shopping mall, who are you more likely to want an autograph from? You know what I mean? They're not celebrities. They're just regular guys. And I even say that about myself. A lot of people, they look at me like a celebrity, and I'm not. I got a radio show host, yes. Have I written books? Yes. But I'm not a celebrity, I'm not famous, I'm just me, I'm just an average Joe, just much like anyone else. And that's the problem with the community. They have this false sense of popularity.
It's so true. It pisses me off, too, because so many times, and again, it's happened a lot in Georgia, so many times, if someone called you for an investigation at a house, or there was a really cool location that, you heard about it through Facebook or through the grapevine, word of mouth through people that you meet, you heard of a really great haunted local location, or maybe someplace that was an hour away, and you get there maybe to that client's house, and mind you, the client called you. But then what will happen is, I've had this happen on a couple of different occasions, some other group that thinks somehow, I don't know, that's their territory, because maybe they investigated that client's house and it's like a known haunted location or whatever, or maybe the client wasn't that happy with that investigative team, and so she called for a different team. And then they start driving by while you're there. Like, what are you doing? Like, staring you down. Have you ever had that happen? Like, what the fuck are you doing here? That's our client, or that's our location. You can't go there. Like, that's a private location. Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah, when I was with the team in Tulsa, that happened quite a lot.
Awful.
Yeah, that was, in fact, one time when they learned about one of our properties that we were investigating, they let the cat out of the bag of where we was at, and so many people showed up that the cops had to come out and put up a blockade.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That was so embarrassing. So embarrassing. I wanted to climb in a hole and just disappear. Well, and but here I'm fortunate. Even the friends that we had the problem with, they have a team and everything is cleared up. But there's another team in town, great people, fantastic people. I love them to death. We do not have any clashes whatsoever. And like I said, we work hand in hand. We call our sister team over there in Moody, Bell County Paranormal is the other team here in town that are really great people. We love Michelle and them, but Blue Bonnet Paranormal over in Moody, Mary and Cody, as our sister team. And we work hand in hand. If Mary gets something, she calls us. If we get something, we call Mary. We're the greatest friends and the greatest people you ever want to meet. And it's just wonderful to have them around. I can't say enough about them. They're just the sweetest people. But we just have great friends, and no way in the world would I ever stab at anybody in the back. It's just, we have a small, tight-fit community here, and people just pick up Facebook or they Google, paranormal. And I don't know why, but and I believe me, I'm the stupidest guy when it comes to internet or computers. But when they hit paranormal, I'm one of the first teams that pops up. That's the reason why the guy from Laredo called me, and not a Laredo team. That didn't, that just, that's cool, and I guess that's how I stay so busy. But I figured a team with like 80, starting out would be the first one that got called. But like right now we've got we're looking at 4 different. One of them's a historical place that we actually got called to go do this place, and other teams have done it. Have paid to get in there, but they called us to ask us to go do it. So that's really, to me, that's a compliment. Our reputation precedes us, and that's that's something else. Always leave a place better than you found it. It don't mean get in there and if you see somebody else's paper cups, hell, pick it up. There ain't no problem to pick up crap like that, throw it in a trash can. I'm not saying you have to get up there and pick up drywall and all that other kind of stuff, but, you at least, someone has let you into a place for free. Do your part, man. It's not crazy. We got the opportunity to do a pretty cool thing, and
oh yeah,
we get the opportunity to show off. It's not that we do. It's just that people are fascinated to watch us. Let's teach them something. Let's show them what we do. And they look at all the equipment that we carry around, and they're like, "Wow, we never knew any of this existed." Because a lot of people are smarter than your average bear and don't watch the crazy shows on TV.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And that's what that's when we have people ask us, "Hey, can I go?" Well, a lot of times we say yes, but we have a set of rules. If you get scared, don't run. If you meet some air, tell us. We never take them to a residential, but if we get something like a historical property, like an old jail or something like that, old nursing home, we'll take them. And which I do want to give a shout out to Brenda Branson. She's really cool. She literally she lays out a spread. She invites people to historical haunts, and she lays out like sandwiches,
that's fun.
cookies. At every stop we made one time with her, there was cookies at every stop. She goes all out, and that's what I say is, even the years that I have under my belt for all this, for working in the paranormal, I'm not afraid to call out for help. So I wish some of these up-and-coming teams would give someone a call. Give us a call, we'll run out there, we'll go help them. If I'm free, if I'm not in the middle of something, I'll go running, man. But I'm not going to leave there without them knowing what they were doing wrong. So they need to know that. I'm gonna show them where they were screwing up.
So that's great that you're trying to mentor, newer newer teams and people that are, you know, new to paranormal investigation. I think it's great that you're doing that. And a lot of people won't take the time, or they just won't, you know, care about helping, you know, other people.
Yeah, absolutely right. They won't.
That's like Jason.
Oh, no.
There comes the competition. You know, they think it's job security, not showing somebody else the rope. But if you don't, they're going to show somebody else.
They can, or they can make their situation worse. And, you know, to what you were saying, this is the truth, and it's really a shame about Facebook. And Jason and I were talking about this one day. I rarely anymore post pictures of investigations or mention what I'm doing very openly because I get so tired of it, of somebody saying some shit about, oh, that place sucks, or I went there, or, that isn't what that is in your picture, it's something else, or, you know what I mean? So I just get tired of it. I don't need people to constantly criticize or scrutinize. I'm just trying to have a good time and learn something and, and investigate what I believe in and, without all of that barrage of criticism that we seem to get online. And a lot of times it's not because there's anything wrong with it. It's because they want to be competitive assholes, frankly. And I used to put it all out there. Like 8 years ago when Facebook got really popular, I put it all on there. And after a couple of years of it, I started taking it down, and I just got over it. And, once in a while, you'll see that I'm going to an event or a historic, location or something like that, and I might say something about it, but you never see me post the pictures. I mean, I'll send some to Jason because he's not going to treat me like that. But, I'm not going to just post them out there for everybody.
I'll post, I won't post evidence. I'll just throw out pictures and say, hey, check out this location I was at. They can say the file all they want. I don't care. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I don't post a little bit. Fine, you'll never see me post residential finds out, only because, I do respect their privacy.
Oh, yeah. I don't do that.
No, that's a big time no. But we do have a couple of release forms, if we do come up with something really fascinating, this is something that we'd like to share. Like if I did come up with something really cool, I'd like to send it to y'all, as a private message or something like that to see what you think of it. But I'm very careful with my clients, and I don't care diddly squat about TV. I'm not pretty enough to be on TV. My wife is, but
I'm
she
sure.
don't care diddly, she don't care diddly squat about TV either. And we just we like what we do. What I like doing is I like speaking. I like going and like telling people about the old ways. I've still got everything that I used. Unfortunately, cassette tapes and videotapes deteriorate. That's a bad thing. And, it just, I wish I would have kept better care of a lot of stuff, but I just didn't. Hell, redneck, run around Great Bear instead of taking care of my stuff. But,
right.
Yeah. But it was a good time back then. It really was, but it got to the point to where, people called you so many names. You're a devil worshiper, or your car would get egged, or people would ride on your car, or just, hell, people would challenge you to fist fights. They care about that. Kind of like that a little bit, but but it was, living in the Bible Belt like we did then. It was one of those things. In high school, it got to be a little cooler. I had a vice principal who was just awesome. He was a black guy who was oh my Lord, he was picked on relentlessly. I mean, it was terrible, you know, and I still get just so pissed off when I think about how they treated that man. But, you know, he knew what I did, and just because I got my ass called to the office one too many times and talked about it. But, you know, and he would call me, and he would go with me on a few investigations. He was very cool, and you know, that was an awesome time to, you know, and then people started understanding, and then it started getting on TV. You know, I can't remember his last name. Well, Peter, you know, he had the black mustache and the gray beard. You remember who I'm talking about? He did the Queen Mary for years in San Diego before he died.
I haven't been there. I have not seen him, but I still want to go there. I'm dying to go there.
Yeah,
do you know who he is, Dave?
Do you remember his name, Jason?
I've never been to the Queen Mary.
Yeah, Jay hasn't been either. Let's go.
He was on TV also for years. He did like mysteries or something or whatever, but I had one of his books. But he was great. He was, you know, one of the first ghost hunters on TV. And I looked up and I thought, man, it's cool to do this again. You know, it's you know. And then all the ghost hunter shows popped up, and I said, well, maybe I can start doing this again. And it took off. And then I realized then the internet and all that crap, and it's been fantastic, you know. But
yeah,
I love doing it, you know. And I love the people I've been able to, you know, investigate with. You know, I've had some big names come out and investigate with me, and enjoyed that. But you know, I just don't think that TV would be the way to go for old Fat Boy.
I feel the same way.
One more thing I want to talk about with Jodi is how do you like dealing with your diabetes and doing investigations?
I do okay with it. I mean, and I've been diabetic for, I guess about 7 years now, you know. So I didn't always have diabetes or anything as a kid growing up, but I'm actually a type 2, and I've actually worked really hard just recently to get myself finally off of insulin. But yeah, it was a bitch when I had to travel to other locations and, you know, take my insulin and, of course, my blood sugar checker, you know, everything with me everywhere. But I've got a really good grip on it now. You know, I know my body. I know how I feel. I know when I'm going to get real bitchy if I don't get something to eat. And trust me, you'll know. So I keep stuff with me. I've always got some kind of like a protein bar in my bag. You know, it's something that water. You know, so I keep myself. Yeah, I keep myself in check. You know, every 2 or 3 hours, you know, you'll see me eat a piece of protein bar, drink some water.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with my treatment. It's protein.
So I can handle it. Yeah, I mean, I've never had to go lay down or, you know, quit an investigation because of it, or, you know, not that you could drag me away. You know, if I'm someplace that I wanted to go and it's a cool location, you know, that's it. You know, I'm not leaving. It's not over until it's over.
Yeah. I'm a type 1.
Are you? It's harder, yeah.
Yeah, it gets pretty rough sometimes, but I've never let it stop me. You know,
right.
It's never stopped me from doing anything.
Yeah.
But,
that's it.
Yeah. Carry my junk with me. And,
yep.
You know, I start feeling something coming on. I like to have a sandwich or something. Take my sugar and just keep on going.
There you go.
Yeah, I keep candy with me too, like hard candy, just for that same reason, in case I start to feel a little weird. You know, you can always just, Jay, you can just check me and see if I feel a little weird. You know.
Yeah. I'll check you anytime, and I'll give you some hard candy.
You'll let me know.
Yeah.
I'll bet you will.
Oh, he's talking about a little Sammy Hagar's what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about fucking flat out.
He's talking about a little Jason Stanton. That's what he's talking about.
Oh, God. It's all good.
We'll just see about that.
Oh, man. There's not too many co-hosts that can say shit like that, too. Not too many people have some.
That was a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. I hope I'm not talking too much for you.
No! No way.
You're good. So what kind of equipment do you use now?
Well, I use all the... Are y'all familiar with Paranologies out of Dallas?
No.
Jeremy Jones? Paranologies, you need to look him up. He's top of the market right now. Jeremy is kicking a lot of ass. He actually has a little PDA that has night vision, and you can post to Facebook automatically. The things that he comes up with are very cool. He just introduced some new stuff, I think today, that he's come out with. He's got, I like using his periscope and his electroscopes. And the electroscope is kind of like a souped up K2 meter. It works on question and answer type deal. It has a red light and a green light. And, we like to answer, green for no and red for yes. And it's a handheld device. The periscope, we sit down, and it's awesome. And they only work off of static electricity. They won't, it ain't like a K2, and you can take it up to like a light switch and get dirty electricity off of it or anything. It absolutely will not turn on to electricity. No AC/DC at all. It's flat out static electricity. So when it goes on, you absolutely have static electricity. It's either someone's got a booth on hair, beehive hairdo, or got on parachute pants, or you have a visitor with you. And like last night or Saturday night, we had a guy talking to us. His name was Robert, and we like, of course, we like our ghost box.
Mm-hmm. And, what kind do you have? What kind of ghost box do you guys have?
We have the SB7.
Okay. All right.
And the Frank's box, basically, and. But we do have the SB11 on order, the new Gary Dalka box, and we're going to see how it works. And of course, mail meter, static night vision, all the rings and bells, movement, motion sensors, our fast cam recorders, a little on the expensive side, but well worth the money.
Oh yeah, it's an expensive habit.
Yeah, it's an expensive habit. We got at least $10,000 worth of equipment floating around.
Oh yeah.
Most
cases,
believe it, cases. Everything. The Pelican cases are expensive as hell. I'm an eBay shopper like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. But Amazon is starting to get a lot of cool shit. So
more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I look on there, but I hardly ever find a better price there. I feel ripped off, and then they want to charge more for shipping. Usually, I get free shipping a lot on eBay, right?
Yeah, you get a lot of times. Yeah, a lot of times you get free shipping. I find some cool stuff at pawn shops sometimes. Like I found some security cameras that they look like game cameras, except they're like a quarter of the size. And they're full-time IR, And I found them for the set for $15, and they're like $175 a piece.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good buy. But sometimes you run across stuff like that. Of course, our K2 meters and everything. Without going into a long story, we're loaded. We're loaded for bear. You know, we go in.
Oh, yeah.
Things set up. Takes a while. But, we like what we do, and we make sure but it's just like anything, you think we've got everything we want. You look online, you go, damn, we got to have one of them.
I know.
What do you think is your favorite piece of equipment that you have in your arsenal?
Yeah, which one can't you just can't live without it?
Oh, let me think about that for a minute. You know what? I'm going to say the damn high 8 Sony cameras. They're the high 8, but the night vision is great on them. The handheld cameras. And, we can download them to the computer pretty quick. We have, we found a piece of equipment so we can download them, the tape to the computer. And I like the mobility of them. We can take them anywhere, especially if it's a place that doesn't have any electricity. That's just, I keep it right beside me, and that's the one I like to use. It's got great audio, and I like our DVR system. Our night vision. I've seen people where they say, "I'm just tired of my night vision. I don't want it anymore. I want to sell it." I don't understand that. There's times you have to get up and leave and walk away from it, but still it's going. That's your eyes whenever you have to be away from it, and it's going to capture what you can't see. So it's there. So.
Yeah, you've got to have that running. You've got to have that running somewhere if you think there's a hot spot for sure. Yeah.
And
I don't walk around with it. No. I don't walk around with it, but
I don't really break out my DVR too much. When I do events in bigger places, yeah, sure. If I do residentials, the most I'll use is 2 or 3 cameras. But as far as the full blown setup, unlikely. I really don't. I try to avoid it, to be honest with you, because it's a pain in the ass setting the shit up and taking it down. However, I do rely on it too at the same time, even though I try to avoid it. But it is a good piece of it. It's good to have one.
Yeah, I have one, and I don't set it up all the time either. Yeah.
I think the worst part of it is getting the damn cords untwisted on the next investigation.
And I'm sure you can agree with me, too, when it comes time to pack up, you don't even care how they get thrown in the car. Just get them in the car.
Throw them in the, I've got bags. They all get crammed in the bags, all ready to go.
Yeah, that's why they're all fucked up the next investigation.
Yeah, but I make some guys take care of that shit. Yeah.
I bet you make guys take care of a lot of shit.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Who wouldn't?
Feel like having to eat my donut, bitch.
You better believe it, baby.
I have a little saying on home when I'm lining them up like that. I go, Bree's gonna whoop my ass. Bree's gonna whoop my ass.
I think it's great that that your wife goes with you, because I hardly ever find that. It'll be like either the guy wants to go and his wife doesn't, or the wife goes but her husband doesn't believe it and isn't into it at all. So I think it's fun that you guys both really enjoy it. And you guys go do that together a lot. That's great.
Well, Bree has her ups and downs with it. There's her times whenever she says, "I'm not ever doing that again." and you know what it is? It's mainly the drama with the other teams. It's just she'll read something online and it just aggravates her to no end. And she's like, "God, can you just believe the drama out of these people, you know. And she, you know, but then, you know, an hour later, she's, you know, talking about the next investigation. So she loves it. It's in her blood. And she has a cousin, Shelley Wallace Wade, who is also a paranormal investigator. So it runs in her family as much as it runs in mine. So it's something that we'll always do. And she'll have this team long after I'm gone.
That's fantastic. Well, what is it that you have in your arsenal that you cannot live without? You have to have it.
All right, I have to have my camera because just photography is very important to me. I just love to take a lot of pictures while I'm there. I have to have that. And I really like my millimeter a lot. You know, I used to carry around, 5 or 6, once upon a time, different pieces of equipment. You know what I mean? And I've got the Zen.
Pictures of some of the equipment you like to carry around.
I will. Well, I don't really like to carry that stuff around, Jay. In the shower, only if I'm walking into the shower, you know.
Oh, okay.
But, I have a really cool vest that I bought from Patty Starr at the Ghost Hunter store out in Kentucky, and it's got all kinds of amazing pockets on it. It's pretty cool. It'll hold every damn thing you ever wanted to hold in there. But once I got the millimeter, I don't know, I guess it's like 4 years ago, I think I picked it up. I pretty much take a small, like a Sony digital recorder in my back pocket. I got the millimeter and my little camera, digital camera that I'm taking pictures with, and I'm good to go with that. Like if we're just, running out to do an investigation at a location that we heard about, like that's it. I'm just taking that, unless we're doing a big setup somewhere for an event or historic or, But I've got all of it. I've got it all. What do you like to? What do you take? Like when you just, like if you're just going to run out, I don't know, with your friend and just the two of you go to a cemetery or I don't know, somewhere. What do you take?
That's what I like to call the good old-fashioned backyard investigating.
Yeah.
Either hanging out, going back to the roots of what actually got you interested in it. That's what I call that shit, backyard investigating, and I love it. I do it. I try to do it a couple times a month because. I mean, we got to face it. After a while, it starts to feel like a job, and you got to get out of that mindset. And going back to your roots is where you got to be sometimes. So, but whenever I do go out, in all honesty, I try to bring just the basic shit with me. I'll have a KQ meter in my back pocket, my recorder, and a camera, and that's it.
Yep. See, so you scale it down too. I love doing that stuff. Still. Like if somebody's like, oh my God, there's, I'm visiting at your house or whatever. And you're like, oh, there's a haunted bridge, or oh, there's this really amazing cemetery. Like, I totally want to go and just do some good old fashioned investigating. It's fun.
It is. There's a great place down the road for me called the Maxdale Bridge and Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun until the gangs show up.
Oh, yeah, that's no fun. Or the cops, then you got to sweet talk them,
Yeah, well, that's another big problem of people getting out there and destroying the cemeteries and knocking over, everything and tagging everything. And then you get out there and try to investigate it. They got gates locked, and they got it, where you can't be in there past 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just getting to why even go, because you're going to be out there for 30 or 45 minutes and he gets the cop car while he's calling everybody in,
Yeah.
And it gets old.
But the interesting thing about New York is there's all the cemeteries. They can't really kick you out. They can't. You can go in any cemetery you want, anytime you want. It's literally public ground. And as long as you have a family member in there, it's your public grounds on top of it. So they can't take you out.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Up around here. It's, gates are locked. It's, they got signs on on everything, Bell County, property, all this crap. Some of the oldest cemeteries around that you want to be out there and at, even my family cemetery out in Llano County, where most of my family is buried at, is locked gate, and you have to call one of the family to get out there and ask permission, and the last couple times I asked, they said no. It's got a cool old schoolhouse there, beautiful old cemetery, and I'd love to get out there again. I went when I was like 20, in my 20s, and had a scary-ass time. I want to go again.
That is always good when you have a scary-ass time. Let's
yeah, that's the best.
Let's start a brand new segment of Ghost Chat Radio that I haven't even discussed with Jodi yet. So this is actually going to be brand new for me. So I like throwing things out in the open and put her on the spot. Well, everyone. Let's do top 5 bucket list locations that you would love to go to.
Well, let's get Will first. Will, where do you want to go?
Penhurst.
Me too.
Penhurst is all right.
Yeah.
I can probably get us in there if I really wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been there. I want to go to Floss Furnace. I'm going to try to go next February. I see there's a new event going there. I've kind of always wanted to go there.
I may be going to that one.
Oh, let's go. Totally. Yeah, I think I really want to go to that. Yeah, I really want to go to the Floss Furnace. I would love to get out and check out the Queen Mary. I've actually never done an investigation on a ship. So, you know what I mean, anything like that. I would love to do that.
Yeah, the Sloss Furnace and Queen Mary for me, too. I'd love to go both of those.
I want to go over to the UK and investigate, like, in a castle. Like an old castle, though, either in Scotland or, over in England somewhere. I've made a few Facebook friends, so I think I can probably arrange that at some point, when I can afford to go over there. But, so I definitely have a little bit of a paranormal bucket list for sure.
How about you, Will?
Edinburgh.
Yeah, that would be neat.
See the tunnels of Edinburgh.
Oh, that would be neat.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I did. I saw a show about that. That would be really. I forgot about that. Would be really cool. What about you, Jay? What are your top bucket list locations?
I would go into locations that are not known at all. Personally, that's just me. First, what I would want to do, I want to do the White House. I would love to investigate the White House if I could. That would be impressive. Two, I wouldn't mind investigating the pyramid. Nobody's ever even put that on the bucket list, and it's like, come on, man. That would be awesome.
I would love that. I was obsessed with the pyramids growing up. I actually wanted to be an Egyptologist, so I would love to go to the pyramids anytime. But I don't know if they would ever let you investigate around down there,
Well, it's great.
I mean, I sat and watched all of those shows where they were doing the excavations. I forgot the guy's name who's the expert over there. I watched all of those shows with great fascination. But they seem to be really uptight about letting people in there, unfortunately. That would be cool.
That would be. My second place I'd want to go, or third place I'd want to go is Easter Island. I think that would be pretty amazing. The history alone, the different types of people that have been there, sheer fascination of mine personally. Where else would I want to go? Vladimir's castle.
Where is
what?
Whose castle? Which castle?
Vladimir Kozlov in Romania.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that'd be great. Do they let people go in there? Do they let people go in there?
I'm not sure. They might.
It might cost you the money of the entire bucket list to go.
Yeah, but how cool
it would be worth it. And
a lot of
the Vatican, that would be my last one.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, that you'll never get in there. That'll never happen.
But it will. It would be awesome.
Maybe so.
I've never considered the White House, but man, that would be That'd be off the chart. That'd be cool.
I think it would be cool.
Yeah, I never did. I never did consider the White House. That's an interesting idea. And, you never know what you're going to find at a governmental building like that. I investigated a big, old, courthouse in Atlanta, and where they used to hang a lot of people out back. And we got some really interesting stuff, creepy stuff, too, from that particular location. But, I can't even imagine what you would get at the White House. I wonder how many, dead presidents might be wandering around in there reliving their glory days. Who knows?
Well, there's been a lot of presidents say they see Lincoln around there. I think it was Ford that said he used to see him on a regular basis.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of them that said that, he'd be sitting down in a chair in a hallway somewhere and then just walk through a wall.
That's wild. Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that, Jay? That's wild. I hadn't heard that.
Make posts or, writing a blog or something about, seeing servants walking up and down hallways and, I guess JFK is known to roam them halls.
I'm going to study up on that tonight.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to read up on. I would not doubt that for a minute. That's cool.
Jason,
cool idea.
Vlad the Impaler in the White House.
I think you should call up Obama and ask him if he's having a problem with the specter. You should call him Jay.
I highly doubt he would get in there, and if he did,
offer.
You're going to be followed around with a bunch of guns.
No shit. Bet your ass. You better bet your ass.
Oh, yeah. Why don't we start giving out everyone's information, because we only have a few minutes left of the show. Will, where can people contact you and so forth and so on, how they can get a hold of you if they want an investigation done, some of the things you have coming up, whatever you want to let out.
Well, we got our next investigation is a private residence that we're going to be working with a recently returned Iraq veteran who feels like he's brought something back with him, and they got some interesting claims. We did the pre-interview with them the other night, and both him and his wife, really great people. I can't wait to get started on that. We're going to be doing a background on the property and everything this week, and hopefully we can help them out. But next few weeks are pretty well booked. But they can reach us. The best way is probably find us on Facebook at Light Paranormal Investigations, or give us a call at area code 254-316-8428. And we're in Belton, Texas. And
all right.
That's the best way to get it. And that's Will and Bree Light, Light.
And you're pretty easy to find on Facebook, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my next investigation is likely to be the St. Roch Cemetery down in New Orleans, which is ROCH, St. Roch. I have a ton of family that is buried there. There's two massive cemeteries, and I've got tons of family on both sides. So I can't wait to check that out. And if you want to find me, you can find me on Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram under Johauntz, Johauntz, and I'm also on Facebook under Johauntz or under Jodi Johauntz Smith. So, or you can also get in touch with me on the Ghost Chat Radio fan page, of course.
Of course, you can always get in contact with you.
Yeah.
She's a funny person. Definitely check her out. And she's pretty smart, too. She's not beautiful looks and all that other good stuff. She actually has some intelligence. And there is some kind of message to her madness. So
I like to think so.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to contact me, just look at JC Stanton on Facebook. Go to the Just Chat Radio fan page. Definitely give that a like. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter and all kinds of stuff. But I definitely feel respectful to go to those fan pages. Give that a like and do what I can to try to stay up to date. What's happening. Bullshit crap Jodi's getting involved with. I'll put the grass star. I try to post some cool fitness things. What size her waist is. I always try to put that up there too.
I don't know if I'm going to tell you that. No, I'm just kidding. Hey now.
I'm saying you're a 10.
I am just about a 10. That would be a pretty close guess.
No,
Yeah. No. Oh, you're such a smart ass. I love it.
I try. But definitely go to the Just Chat Radio fan page on Facebook as well. Go to Amazon. Pick up my book, Unrested Peace. It's a nice little tale. I know you guys will love it to death. It's available in Kindle and paperback. It is pretty damn cheap. It's not expensive at all. And you'll learn a little bit more about who I am and what I do. So go to Amazon, look up Unrested Peace, and definitely check that out. I don't voluntarily. That was up. So, I'd like to thank Bill for coming on tonight. I'd like to thank He's pretty much well taken over from Ghost Chat, which is all right. Gives me a little break. She's kicking ass.
No,
You'll just tell me if I start pissing you off. That's all.
There's very little that pisses me off, though. That's the problem.
Well, I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm just trying to be helpful.
And I'm sure you've asked all the people that I talked to. They've probably said the same thing. Jackie, you fucking know it.
No, I don't, though. I don't do that. I don't check up on you. I just go right to you. I got to go right to the source, you know. I never believe what anybody else says, you know.
That's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Everybody's definitely got to give it up to Jodi. Go to the fan page and write a nice little comment to her and say, "Thank you, Jodi." Thank you.
Well, we've got some great guests lined up. We are, I think I have 2 days open in September. And I've already got one person booked for October. So we're just rolling right along with the season. It should go really smoothly. Tomorrow night we have Thomas Fusco, who wrote a terrific book. It's Beyond the Cosmic Veil, and it's going to be a little bit more of a scientific show, but really fascinating, really interesting. He's going to be a great guest.
Excellent. I can't wait to chat, man.
Quite a few fans. Yeah, it's going to be good. Don't miss it.
What kind of other awesome guests do we have coming up in the future?
Oh, my God. Who don't we have? I have Brian Cano coming up. I have Chris Deadman coming up. I have the Ghost Miners coming up Labor Day week. I know we already have 3 members of the Ghost Mine television show confirmed to come on. We're just waiting for one more. So I'm hoping that we're going to get the whole team. We have Keith Ramsey coming on from the Deep South Ghost Hunters, possibly with Tracy Ray, his wife. Not sure yet. I mean, we just have tons of people. I have Rob Demarest coming on from GHI. I mean, we just really have a great lineup. I might consider making the Ghost Chat Radio Google Calendar public, and then people could kind of check and see who's coming on.
I think
how about that? Cool. I'm going to do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, and then we can just even post a link to it on the fan page, and they'll always know who's coming on. I mean, we're going to advertise anyway, but let's do that.
And I think tomorrow we're going to start Ghost Chat Radio Dumbass Trivia.
Awesome.
That's going to kick out. And basically what it is...
I just want to tell you, I've listened in on a couple of shows, and I think y'all are fantastic. I've done a couple of these things, and I really enjoy listening to y'all. I think you're fantastic. You're well-read. You're just great people, and you make me laugh. And me and Bree, we really enjoy it, and we really appreciate having y'all around.
Well, thanks for coming on, Phil.
But y'all take care now.
Excellent. And I guess we can say goodbye to everybody.
All right. Well, what are we doing for dumb trivia? What's dumbass trivia? You're going to have to
Dumbass trivia. All right, let's get into dumbass trivia real quick. What I'm going to do is we're going to take the discussion that we wound up having during the first half hour of the program.
Okay.
And we will ask a specific question about that first half hour of what we discussed or something that came out. We might talk about your breasts, and I might say, all right, everyone, at the last hour, and say, what size was Jodi's breast? And, you know, whoever could be the first caller to call for that answer, they can win a coffee mug, a Ghost Chat Radio coffee mug.
Awesome. Jay's got prizes. That's great.
I got prizes.
Awesome. I love it.
Excellent. But until tomorrow night, everyone, we will see you later.
Bye.
Later.